Yeah. So no, but what I'm saying about the steps, if you've got the steps for people to achieve and get to the first floor, basically, every step is a module. So you've got marketing, you've got sales, you've got accounts, you've got all the things that we need, and in those maybe 5 or 6 steps to take people to the next level. So then when we look at marketing and we're looking at how you do your social media and how you do your all of it, everything that's in our marketing budget. So, direct mail, direct marketing, email marketing,
pay-per-click,
gathering information, all of those things, working with a CRM system, all of those things will be, encompassed under our marketing bit for the client. And then that's how we move forward. And so they've actually got a strategy to move forward, rather than a lot of the business coaches out there that will give them a heading and then Google it and say, well, why don't you go here? They'll help you do that. Yeah, I'm a great believer in automating and outsourcing. It does make life a lot easier, but show them how to do it so that then they've got the tools moving forward to do that. And it means that once it's done, they're no longer working in it, they're going to work on it. And that's how we structure our days of, right, we're with you for half a day or whatever this time, and what we're going to do is work through marketing, and by the time we come back again we want that buttoned off so it's gone, and then the next one is whatever it is, whether it's accounts, right, well, this is what we're going to look at. Is the accounts package you're using working best for you? Does it link with your CRM? Does it do this? Does it do that? Is your accountant looking the best accountant that you could get? Is he giving you the right advice? Let's look at that, and let's get professional advice for you on that, and then
so the client is basically building up a folder, if you like, of all this information with every step of running a business is there, and exactly how they go about it, what they do, building up to the point where at the end of the process they've got a complete package with all the steps, all the guides, everything there.
And it's done. So because we're mentoring them as they're doing it, the time frame between us sitting down with them, and we can have Skype meetings and talk to them over the phone or whatever, but while we're doing that, they're actually completing the process, so that they can then step away from that or put someone else in charge of it. So that it's done, that system is already done. So now they know it's done, they know how it works, and all it is content for them. So, if they're ever, for marketing, for example, if they're ever going to do an email campaign or anything like that, it's just the content. The structure of how to get it out to people is already there. And they're also building up a database of clients all the time by capturing that information. So they're building their sales funnel, if you like, and then putting information out to the clients.
So in essence, what we're doing is taking somebody that has bought themselves a job because they're working in it all the time and using the adage that the more hours that I put in, the more successful I will be. So actually taking them from that point to, at the end, working on their business, not working in their business, where they can afford to have some annual leave, take some time out, and they can come in and be the visionary rather than the instigator.
Yeah, and that's exactly, that's what everyone should be aiming at. I mean,
that's having a business.
It is, and the problem with when you're starting a business or you're trying to run your own business, that people come into it and automatically think they're an entrepreneur. They're not an entrepreneur. When you start a new business, you are the chief cook and bottle washer. You make the tea, you sweep the floors, you do everything. Okay, and until you can afford to get to the point where you can outsource and automate a lot of those things to make it easier for yourself, but really until you take on your first employee, you don't step up to being a manager. But then you're only a manager, you're still not an entrepreneur, because you're at management level, so you're still going to have to do a lot of the work, and also you've now got the factor of you've got an employee, which brings a whole new ball game into it. And then once you've got to the point where you've got enough employees that you can take on a manager to run them, then you're a director, but you're still not an entrepreneur because you're now directing the business. You're not really an entrepreneur until you've got to the point where you can step back and oversee that business, run it on a laptop, so that business is running for you, you've got a second tier management in place, and that business is thriving. That's when you're an entrepreneur. There's massive difference in that.
And without going the business coach route, that could be 20 years, 25 years of hard graft, because you're very reluctant, A, because of affordability in the first place, and B, because it's your baby and it's yours and you want to keep control of it.
And no one does it better than
you.
No one does it better than you.
To hand over the keys to the kingdom to somebody else to run that for them. So that's why you need, and also because I think we get into a position where you almost get bored of it. The first few years of being in business, it's all very good and it's great, it's wonderful, and then you get to a stage where it's maybe not happening as fast as you need it to happen. So you start to lose some traction. You get a little bit demotivated by it, and you probably wander off for a few years in the wilderness while still there tapping away without actually progressing and moving forward. Whereas if you've got a coach that's going to hold you accountable, you will hit those milestones. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. And if you're wasting your money, go back to what you're doing before, working all the hours, or working all the hours for no great reward.
Yeah, well that's it, and you know that we don't start a business to give ourselves a job. In reality, I mean, you know, I think that's again the difference between an entrepreneur and a worker. Yeah. You know, an entrepreneur is always starting a business to look at how can they build that business to then move on to the next business. Yeah. You know, and then build another business and build another business. So if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur with lots of different businesses under your belt that are bringing you income, you can't be working anymore because there's no hours not enough hours in the day.
The point you were touching on there, multiple streams of income.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the way if you want to be successful and be the entrepreneur, multiple streams of income is the actual it's the right way to do it. My question would be, first of all, why did you start your business? What was the reason? And I'm going to pretty much guarantee for 90% of people it would be to have more free time and to be financially in a better position than you once were.
Yeah, and how's that working for you? It's not, is it?
So for most people, they'll be spending more hours in their business, probably putting their marriages in jeopardy and time with their family, you know, kids' sports days that they won't be attending, you know, working weekends, but a wife or husband that there's not maybe the best pleased with them. And in terms of finance, well, for the first year, as we both know, for the first few years of business, you're pumping all your money back into it and you're probably not making big margins.
That's right, absolutely.
You're reinvesting, which is the right thing to do, but you need a strategy for that.
And there's an easier way, you know, and that's using the tools of a business coach, whoever it may be. You know, obviously we'd like it to be us, but for a business, having the tools and having someone, because running a business is very lonely as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, there is nobody that has the same issues as you because there's nobody on there to have the same issues as you. So who do you talk to? Your partner's not really going to understand.
The greatest respect, they don't really understand.
You know, so where do you go? I mean, you know, that's part of why, you know, when we talked about it and we decided to set up the mentoring groups, you know, because someone might not necessarily want to have someone sat there solidly all the time, you know, or not all the time, but, you know, an hour or half a day every few months or whatever, and you know, put that outlay. So outlay is difficult for people, but obviously you invest to achieve, so that's what you get. But with the mentoring groups, when you come and you sit down, you can sit down with, you know, a group of like-minded people who are in the same situation, different businesses, because we won't have the same businesses never, different businesses of people talking to you about the commonality in their business and their experiences and how they've overcome them. And obviously then we, you know, so you almost act as an unofficial board of directors, and you're holding each other accountable. But it's a network of people that you can then phone and have a chat to and say, look, I've done this, I've had this problem, have you built this? And then when we're in in our meetings together and we sit down, we can talk about it, we can talk to the group and give them strategies on how to overcome these things, you know.
There's a really good tip that I learned in a book a number of years ago. It's about having a virtual boardroom in your mind. So in other words, if you can think of 5-6 people that you kind of, you know, they could be friends or work colleagues, people you know and trust, they won't all have the same opinions or give you the same advice. But actually, if you've got a problem, and this works really, really well, so worth trying, if you've got a problem, close your eyes, think of those people that you trust their values and their thoughts. Think of those people and actually visualise yourself in a room where you're sat down with those 4 or 5 people, and you sit down and you air that problem in your mind. And I'll tell you what, it's an amazing exercise to do, because you will hear those people give you their advice on that problem. So it won't be just your thoughts. You'll actually have that mental boardroom with those advisors, and because you know their characters and their personalities and their traits, you will get a number of different opinions, and it will resolve and solve your problem. It's a brilliant exercise to do.
I can see it being a good exercise. Yeah,
I've done it many and many a time, and it absolutely works.
And that's how, you know, in reality, when they come to the mentoring groups, you know, people sat down and actually you've got the physical people there now, you know, who aren't your friends.
Yeah.
You know, they're business associates that are in the same situation as you, with somebody running the session like us that's mentoring everybody in there. And
exactly my point. So you have gone from a virtual boardroom to a physical boardroom.
And when you know, we're not necessarily going to tell them something that they want to hear, you know, because we're not there to blow bubbles up the bum.
Yeah.
We're there to actually put a strategic plan in place to take a business forward.
Support, encourage, motivate, and to be held accountable.
Yeah, and you know, our tagline, you know, an ethical and sustainable approach to coaching. You know, so everything that we're going to talk about, you know, it's about being ethical in business as well, because you'd be surprised that there are some sharks out there that aren't ethical in their business, and you know, that's not what we want to. They're not the people that we want to deal
Absolutely
with.
Not
so we want to look at people who genuinely want to succeed, not at the cost of somebody else, but they want to succeed, that have got the drive, have got the vision, and are going to take it forward, and are grateful that they've been given the opportunity to run a business. You know, there's not, you know, it takes a rare breed of person to run a business, you know. But this business, the second part of that, it's got to be sustainable. It's got to be something that you can move forward with and keep going. You know, if we get someone that comes to us who haven't actually started a business and they've got 10 ideas, everybody has ideas, and it's brilliant to have ideas. But again, we can talk to them about which ones of these are going to be sustainable, which ones are going to give you an income. You know, is it a lifestyle business, or is it a business to make money? You know, is it a business that, you know, that you want to work in? Actually, if you want a lifestyle business, well, a lifestyle business is great, but genuinely, you're never going to be rich. You're never going to, be sitting on the beach on your laptop looking at your portfolio. But that might not be what you want. You know.
You see on Dragon's Den week in, week out, where they say, look, you're running a lifestyle business. This is not investable for me. You know, you may sell a few, and well done. You know, fair play for you for doing it. What I was going to come on to say to you as well is that the sales training program that we've got, I think for any business is just of such high value. Without sales, you don't have a business.
No.
If you're not selling anything, then you're giving it away, and that's fine. If you're running that kind of business, that's fine. But business has got to be on your sales and your marketing. So there's massive value for people to invest and to look at what we're doing there, which is something quite special with its very own blueprint.
Yeah, and that means that everything else in the business has got to be seamless. So your accounts process has got to be seamless. You know, all of those things have got to be seamless, so you can concentrate on your. You know, the last thing you want is when you're in the flow of looking at your marketing, or you've made, you know, 10 calls in a day or telesales, and you're banging them out and you're feeling really good, for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, can you have a look at these figures for me? You know, this isn't working, or, you know, oh, my accounts package isn't working today, or there's this or there's that. It completely does, you know, then you'll lose the day. You know, you'll lose the momentum you've got, and you will lose the day. So that's why working on every bit and getting them seamless to enable you to, sales, cash is king. Get it in, get the sales done. You know, so that, and that's the same for every business. Doesn't matter what you're selling. You know, it's the same for every business.
Cool.
Yeah.
Done.
That was fucking good, that wasn't it? That was like 13 minutes worth, mate.